On the night of January 2nd, 2026, the city of Caracas was violently jolted from its fragile calm. Without warning, a sudden gut-punching explosion erupted in the eastern districts, shattering the uneasy peace that had settled over the city in recent weeks. The blast was so powerful that it lit up the night sky, its orange glow visible for miles, and the sound echoed off the surrounding mountains, making it impossible to ignore. Windows rattled in their frames, car alarms wailed in a discordant chorus, and panic swept through neighborhoods like Petare and El Marqués. People rushed to their windows and balconies, searching the darkness for answers, their faces illuminated by the flickering city lights and the occasional flash from distant explosions. Within minutes, more blasts followed, each one louder, closer, and unmistakably deliberate. The city, already on edge, was now gripped by a new, more immediate terror as the explosions crept toward the heart of Caracas, their thunderous booms rolling across the cityscape. The ground itself seemed to tremble, shaking high-rise apartments and knocking items from shelves. In some buildings, the force of the blasts cracked walls and sent glass shattering onto the floors. It was clear to everyone. This was no accident, but a calculated act meant to send a chilling message. Almost instantly, social media erupted with shaky videos and frantic questions. Did you hear that? What was it? Clips of the explosions, filmed from balconies and street corners, spread like wildfire, capturing the chaos and confusion in real time. The city's digital pulse quickened as millions tried to make sense of the chaos. News outlets scrambled to report, while rumors and speculation filled every feed. In internet cafes and crowded living rooms, people huddled around screens, desperate for any scrap of information. The explosion shattered the thin veneer of normalcy, plunging Caracas into a night of fear and confusion. Streets emptied as families locked their doors, peering out from behind curtains, unsure if it was safer to stay hidden or to flee. Residents huddled in hallways and stairwells, eyes wide with terror, clutching loved ones and waiting for answers that wouldn't come. The uncertainty was suffocating, every minute stretching into an eternity. The blasts were more than just noise. They were a violent rupture, both physical and psychological. Debris littered the streets, and the city's collective sense of security was shattered, replaced by a raw, gnawing fear. As dawn broke over Caracas, smoke still rising from the city's wounds, crowds gathered in the streets, their faces etched with anxiety. Caracas, a city long accustomed to tension, now faced a terrifying new chapter, one that would test its resilience like never before. In the immediate aftermath, as confusion swept through the city, ordinary residents became the first reporters on the scene. With no official information available, people instinctively turned to each other, sharing what they saw and heard from their windows, balconies, and the darkened streets below. Maria Rodriguez, a local teacher, described a deep, rumbling roar that made her entire building sway. "You could feel it in your chest," she recalled, her voice trembling. The sensation was so powerful that many thought it was an earthquake at first. Many residents reported hearing a strange, high-pitched whistling just moments before the blasts. This eerie sound quickly fueled rumors that something was moving through the air, perhaps a missile or something even more mysterious. "It sounded like a giant bottle rocket, but 1,000 times bigger," said one witness, still shaken. Others described the noise as a mix between thunder and a jet engine, echoing through the city's concrete canyons. In the chaos, neighbors called out from their windows, gathering in lobbies and hallways, desperate for any scrap of information. Some shouted questions into the night, while others tried to comfort frightened children and elderly relatives. The familiar sounds of the city, traffic, music, laughter, vanished, replaced by urgent chatter and the constant ringing of phones. People dialed friends and family, trying to piece together what was happening from scattered reports. Videos and voice notes spread rapidly across social media, each new account adding to the growing mystery. In group chats and online forums, residents compared stories, searching for answers in the chaos. Some witnesses saw a blinding flash before the thunderous sound, while others noticed a strange smell of smoke drifting through the air. These conflicting details only deepened the confusion and anxiety gripping the city. With no official word from authorities, Caracas relied on its own eyes and ears. Residents, journalists, and ordinary citizens documented the unfolding chaos in real time, determined to make sense of the night's terrifying events. As explosions rocked the city, the night sky over Caracas was suddenly alive with chaos and confusion. The thunderous booms echoed between the buildings, rattling windows and sending shockwaves through the streets. Sirens wailed in the distance as emergency vehicles raced to respond, their lights flickering against the darkness. Almost immediately, reports of low-flying aircraft flooded in from every corner of the city. Witnesses described seeing jets and helicopters slicing through the night, their engines roaring overhead, sometimes so close it felt as if they might scrape the rooftops. Residents described the roar of jets or helicopters just before and after the blasts. It flew right over us, then came the boom. Faces turned skyward, eyes wide with fear and uncertainty, as people tried to make sense of what was happening above them. The consistency of these accounts suggested something more than panic. Neighbors gathered in small groups, sharing what they had seen and heard, piecing together a story that felt all too real. The idea of an aerial attack raised the stakes, hinting at a coordinated assault. The presence of military aircraft overhead fueled speculation. Was this a show of force, or the beginning of something far more dangerous? Then, without warning, darkness. A sudden blackout swept across eastern Caracas. Entire neighborhoods were plunged into pitch black, streetlights flickering out one by one, as if snuffed by an unseen hand. Power vanished in an instant, isolating neighborhoods and cutting off news. Apartment buildings stood as silent silhouettes, their windows dark, leaving families to huddle together in uncertainty. The city was left in eerie silence, lit only by the pale glow of phone screens and the distant flash of emergency lights. People gathered in doorways and on balconies, searching for any sign of what might come next. Was the blackout a result of the blasts, or a deliberate move to sow confusion and fear? No one knew for sure. Rumors spread quickly, but answers were few and far between. In the darkness, fear and uncertainty grew with every passing minute. Every distant sound, every shadow, became a potential new threat. Caracas held its breath, waiting for dawn, or for whatever might come next. The blasts struck near key military installations, Fort Tiuna intelligence headquarters, and the homes of top officials. Their proximity fueled speculation. Was this a warning, an accident, or a targeted attack? No official source confirmed damage, but the symbolism was clear. In Caracas, every street corner carries political weight. Every explosion, a message. The city's nerve center had been rattled, and the implications were impossible to ignore. As dawn broke, the government remained silent. State TV played music and documentaries, ignoring the chaos outside. In the absence of facts, rumors and conspiracy theories filled the void. Some whispered of foreign attacks, others of internal sabotage or a failed uprising. Anonymous leaks contradicted each other, deepening confusion. The silence from officials left millions anxious, abandoned, and desperate for guidance. In Caracas, the lack of information was as frightening as the explosions themselves. The blasts came amid rising tensions between Venezuela and the United States. Both sides traded accusations. Washington blamed for sabotage, Caracas accused of staging a false flag. Recent U.S. military activity in the Caribbean only heightened suspicions. The world watched, wary that the incident could spark a diplomatic crisis or worse. Foreign embassies scrambled for information, knowing the stakes were high. The fate of Venezuela rippled far beyond its borders, touching energy markets and regional stability. The mystery in Caracas had become an urgent international concern. As dawn lit the city, Caracas remained suspended between fear and uncertainty. The explosions had stopped, but the questions echoed louder than ever. Facts were scarce. Multiple blasts, blackouts, panic. Everything else was speculation. In the absence of clear information, rumors threatened to do as much damage as the blasts themselves. The city's only defense was patience and the slow work of verification. Residents emerged, surveying the aftermath, piecing together the night's events. The story was far from over. The truth would come slowly, if at all. Until then, Caracas waited, scarred, wary, and desperate for answers.